birthday, kids. What time is that?
Let's see what the great Patrick Mahomes will do on this play.
But before we can talk about how great Patrick Mahomes is, we have a flag on the play.
Before the ball was snapped, pass interference on the defense, numbers 1, 2, and 3. By rule, the great and powerful Patrick Mahomes will elect where to place the ball. Hail Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, it's now 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Ball is snapped.
Man, look at the way Patrick Mahomes handed off that ball. Superb technique.
But let's check out the flag on the play.
During the play, personal foul, violating Patrick Mahomes' personal bubble. The result of the play is first down, touchdown, and Chiefs win by 50 points. Hail Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, here we go. Now, Brock, you got it. You got to put him in motion, Tom.
Motion across.
319. 319. Hut. Here we go.
You
got him. It's a hard throw. You still got it. Get him.
Foul is intentionally done again. It will be an unsportsmanlike conduct foul. For now, it's half the distance to the goal, and it's still 2nd down.
And there goes Luvu again, jumping over the pile.
Encroachment, defense number 4. Washington has been advised that at some point the referee can award a score if this type of behavior happens again.
Award a score? You can give him a touchdown?
Next time they do, they want to score?
The refs can give us a touchdown, I guess, if they do it again or something.
That was like mental warfare, bro. And Luvu was just landing on your back. I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body?
Super Bowl MVP led to that Super Bowl win. Who did he play that game? Do you know he played that game? I love you.
Nick, I don't hate you. I'm just jealous of you. You caught it. I didn't.
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes. Very low percentage.
I know that we have a good draw for people from out of town. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Mark, settle down a little bit.
I have a good background in the makeup of what a coach is. To think that you could make a decision in an interview and not have talked, if you didn't and hadn't ever communicated or had a visit, I wouldn't dare have had an interview unless I talked to many, many people.
I
thought it was intercepted.
Yeah, I did too.
After review, ruling on the field stands as called. Is it Kansas City catch? First down and goal.
They're reviewing it? They're trying to say first down. This ain't first down. You can't walk in. He's a half a yard short.
All time. That's all right. We got him in there. Ball slipped right out of my hand.
That might have been the worst spike I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. It was. That's the first thing I said when I came to the sideline.
This is so crazy. I cannot believe this is really happening. I'm in shock.
New Orleans, Louisiana, baby.
This is so cool.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Unlimited diarrhea. Unlimited.
All right, guys, let's get back to football.
Yeah, I have to go warm up. I'm about to throw for 100 yards with possibly a touchdown. We'll let the referees decide that.
All right, Patrick, we'll let you go.
Wow. Taylor's gone. Taylor. Come on, touchdown.
Verstaat Angriff.
Oh.
5 Yards Strafe.
And here we are. Can't hear you. What happened? Your mic's not working all of a sudden. That's weird. Pre-show your mic was working. So I guess I'll have to talk until you figure that out. Try plugging your mic back in and out. Maybe that'll work. Weird. StreamYard for you. Welcome, everyone. It's week 21. I can't believe we've made it this far. Our good buddy Edson is not going to be joining us today. There was, unfortunately, a death in his family. Edson, we wish you well. Positive thoughts going your way. And hope you and the family are healing together. Still nothing from Bruce. Might have to log out and log back in like you did before. Maybe he already has. Here's what I'll do. I'll dump him out. So just me for now. So, whoop. We got 2 instances of Bruce. Nah, I don't see you. And he's gone again. Anyway, hey, welcome to the show. So a lot to cover. We've got clearly the championship games, which one of them was very controversial. Actually, both were pretty controversial, but one more than the other. And there's a lot of news and notes to get to around the league. I'm just kind of vamping and stalling while Bruce figures out his technical issues here. He was fine during pre-show. I don't know what happened all of a sudden, but StreamYard seems to be a bit buggy. Recapping my picks from last week, I went 1-1 with the points. I won the Eagles game. I took the Eagles plus 6.5, and I lost the Bills-Chiefs game because I thought this was the year Josh Allen was going to pull it off. And still, Bruce. There we go.
Yeah, that's a hell of a way to start Black History Month.
Yeah. I thought I was going to be by myself today.
Silence the brother. Okay, Black History Month. Fight the power.
So I went 1-1, as I was saying last week, with the points. So I'm 4-8, and I'm probably doomed to come in last because there's only one game left to pick, unless we do some prop bets. Maybe I don't know. Don't know what I did. We'll find out Edson's next week. Bruce, you were 0-2.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. That puts you at even 500. So with one game left, so Edson might blow by you. Wouldn't that
if
be
Edson wins again? I don't want to play anymore. I'm taking my K2 and going home. Pure and simple.
I'm with you. We'll just kick him off the show. We don't have to worry about it.
Edson, if you're listening, your button has been muted. You are muted.
I'll be bringing a little humor to brighten your day.
Yes.
And also, before we get into the NFL news and notes, I just want to talk about not just one, but 2 aviation disasters.
I heard about last night. What is going on?
Yeah, there was a Learjet crashed in Philadelphia last night. 6 passengers on board. There was a medical plane, I guess, with doctors and whatnot. If you see that video, it's terrifying. It comes straight down like a missile.
Right, oh wow, I have to check it out.
Yeah, parking lot. And of course, the day before over the Potomac, which Bruce, you've been dealing with head on, right? I mean,
yeah, we're slowly but surely going to, unfortunately, it's going to be bad.
Yeah. So that was also terrible. As someone who spends a lot of time in aircraft, this week was unnerving to say the least.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was thinking about you. I'm like, he's probably like,
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, though, my friend Brian, who he's like one of my best friends, he's texted me Monday. He said, wow, we had the world. He's from Wichita. And he said, wow, we got the world figure skating practices over here and everything. And soon they're going to DC. And when they come out, I'm going to see them and everything. And Brian's like me, a book geekophobe. And he's like, so I wrote back to him and said, why am I not surprised you know about this? But it was like, he sent that to me on Monday. Said, yeah, let's go check this out. I'm like, maybe. But now this happens.
Wow. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, by the way, this picture I sent you, that is Nick 2 years ago.
That's your son? He's like 7 feet tall.
I know. He's like 6'5".
Wow. Last time I saw Nick, he was like 10.
Right. Hey, Keith, how's it going? Okay.
Yeah. So, again, horrible, sad loss of life this week. And, just on top of the fires, on top of the terror attacks, the first week of it's been one hell of a January. Hopefully today being February 1st, we can segue into a more positive era. But we're not here to bring people down. We're here to talk about trivial stuff like football
and life in general
and other sports.
Right.
Let's start with some positive news, shall we? Antonio Brown is he's been working hard at rehabilitating his image, rehabilitating himself as a person. And this is a cool story. He raised $56,000 for families that were affected by the New Orleans terror attack there. And says he will be in NOLA for the Super Bowl, helping raise more money. So
that's good.
Good for Antonio Brown. I've been following his metamorphosis, if you will, and it's been uplifting to watch. It's nice to see someone who cratered and realized it and is working hard on himself to be a better person. And I hope he succeeds. I let him know once in a while. I reply to some of his tweets and say, I'm really happy that you picked yourself up off the mat. That's because let's face it.
The thing is so crazy is, Edson would jump all over this. He would jump all over this. I remember his father playing, and his father was pretty good.
His father was pretty good. And his father was very successful with the Arena League team that Antonio.
That's right. I do remember something like that.
Antonio bought the team, fired his father, and then ran the team into the ground and out of business.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Antonio, he was such a great story when he first came into the league. He was a 6th round draft pick, much like Tom Brady. They had drafted Emmanuel Sanders the same year Pittsburgh did. And Emmanuel Sanders came with all the accolades. Brown was, this 6th round pick who had a penchant for trouble, apparently. But he worked really hard and elevated himself to the top, probably the best receiver in football back, in his prime. And then the trouble started. Once he reached the pinnacle of success, and he went off the rails, and everybody knows the story. He bounced around the league 4 teams in a year, and then quit on the Bucks right in the middle of a game, took his clothes off and ran off the field at Meadowlands. So, just this, and then from there, getting in trouble with the law over and over again. And it was just a nightmare. So, I'd love to see him get his life back on track.
Right.
But
I still think that and I was talking to you about this, and I was talking to my friend Dave, who's another huge Steelers fan like yourself. That hit on Perfect is like probably just like it's like everything changed because everything just changed.
Yeah,
with him.
I think it might be the CTE. He calls his little enterprise, his little media enterprise, CTESPN, and he tweets once in a while. He puts that hit, like when the anniversary of that hit occurred, he tweets that a lot, a photo of it, him getting hit by Perfect, and he says never been the same since. He says that.
Oh, okay.
Not all news can be good news. So this is a joke, by the way. The Cleveland Browns are not trading for Justin Tucker, but since they traded for Deshaun Watson, they might as well, because allegations. Now, no convictions yet, no arrests made, but allegations are that Justin Tucker has engaged in inappropriate behavior at 4 high-end level spas and wellness centers in the Baltimore region, according to 6 massage therapists, including exposing his genitals, brushing 2 of them with his exposed penis, and leaving what they believe to be ejaculate on the massage table after 3 of his treatments. Several therapists said Tucker's behavior was so egregious that they ended his sessions early or refused to work on him again. And at 2 spas, management said they banned him from returning. He has said all of this is false. He doesn't know where this came from. But didn't Deshaun Watson say the same thing?
Yeah. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to do this. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. I can't, because this thing is so bad. Because I kept on seeing a blurb saying Tucker in trouble. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll look at it later on. Now I'm glad you clarified it for me.
But, it makes you wonder, Bruce. He's struggled all year long with the kicking, and we've wondered what happened. And you wonder if this sort of stuff, knowing that legal troubles were coming, was affecting him. He wasn't.
That's a great point. That is a great point. He's
'Cause-
relatively young, isn't he?
Nah, not really. He's been in the league 8-9 years. I think he's somewhere probably 31, 32. But yeah, just crazy. You just never know, right?
Right.
I got Adam Schefter live here. I'm just going through because there's been a lot of assistant coaching hirings this week.
Right.
I just want to kind of blow through some of these. So the Cowboys are hiring the Cardinals offensive line coach Clayton Adams as their offensive coordinator. So now we have Matt Eberflus as the DC. This offensive line coach getting promoted to OC, and first-time head coach Brian Schottenheimer in charge. What could possibly go wrong?
And the funny thing is, though, we called Matt Eberflus last week before everything happened.
I know.
We said that's going to happen because I texted you afterwards and said you were right again.
I was driving in the car and you texted me, and I'm like, well, yep, here we go. I mean, saddle up. It's the Cowboy Circus, man. I mean, and we got Jerry Jones talking about glory holes. So,
yeah, I heard Webertard talking about that.
What gets better than this? Crazy. Tampa Bay, this is interesting, has now had 4 offensive coordinators in 4 years. Leftwich, Canales, Cohen, and now they've named Josh Grizzard, who was their they're the pass game coordinator. They've promoted him to OC. Will there be a little step back in the passing attack or in the offense for Tampa Bay at all? We'll see.
Well, I read somewhere that this is Mayfield's 6th offensive coordinator in 8 years.
Yeah, because Cleveland would swap them out too routinely. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean,
luckily, Baker Mayfield just seems to be able to elevate his game above the chaos. And, and Baker makes a ton of mistakes. We all know it.
Yeah.
But, I think who doesn't like Baker Mayfield? I just think
he looks so comfortable. He looked so comfortable in this offense with Tampa Bay this year. He looked
so much fun to watch, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. He reminds me of he reminds me of a young Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And because I remember the days when even better comparison going back in the day when I was growing up down here. The Redskins drafted from the CFL because Joey Theismann went to the CFL and played for Toronto, and after he left Toronto, he came down here for the Redskins. And Theismann was getting in Allen's ear. Come on, put me in. And Allen's like, I don't play rookies. Sit there, return punts, and shut up. But as soon as he got his chance, and he took some chances, and now Theismann won't shut up.
He didn't shut up then. He won't shut up.
He's everywhere down here.
Is he really?
Oh my gosh. Redskins pregame show with Joe Theismann. Brought to you by Joe Theismann. Brought to you by Joe Theismann's Restaurants. So,
is his hair still everywhere by Owens Corning fiberglass?
I don't know. He's looking for Kathy Lee Crosby to hang out with. Man, I'm dating myself. Wow.
So the Jets have hired Chris Harris as their pass game coordinator and defensive backs coach. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How can you coach both sides of the ball effectively?
What's he doing? What's he doing? Chuck Bednarik? I mean, what's he doing out there?
He did the same. He had the same role with the Titans. And I'm not so sure the Titans passing game nor their defensive secondary was any good.
I don't think they were.
So we'll have to, once again, we'll sit and wait and see what happens with the Jets.
I'm telling you right now, Aaron Glenn is no joke. He was like, he's going to be just the new sheriff in town. The way he's talking, I'm like,
yeah.
Ugh.
You know who he sounds like? His old boss, Dan Campbell.
Well, that's a good thing.
Well,
what's
that's
Campbell going to do?
Yeah, Campbell's got to replace his whole coaching staff. That's going to be interesting. Bill Belichick's releasing a book called The Art of Winning: Lessons from a Life in Football, releasing in May. I might pick that up because it might be more like a motivational book than anything else.
That sounds interesting.
So here's there's a lot of contention growing now between the Jags and the Bucks. The Bucks were pissed because they had a deal on the table for Liam Cohen. They're going to offer him $12 million, I think it was, to stay the offensive coordinator in Tampa. And the Jaguars poached him anyway. And Tampa was pissed. So I guess they've like blocked them now. They won't even talk to the Jaguars because the Jaguars came after another one of their coaches. They came after their offensive line coach, Kevin Carberry. They blocked him. I don't think the Jags are going to be able to like talk trades anymore. I think these two teams are done with each other. I hope they play each other this year. That'd be.
I was going to say the same thing. Could you imagine being a fly in the wall wearing? I don't know where I can find them yet to help me out with this. Wearing like a split jersey, one side Tampa Bay, one side Jacksonville, and going to a game.
You might have you lost a coach in Green Bay to Jacksonville. They hired the Anthony Campanile. Is that how you say his name? Campanile. It must be Campanile. Italiano. He will be the defensive coordinator now in Jacksonville.
The Packers need a defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
badly because those are my boys. Like I said last week, we study the nuances of the game. The Packers do not know how to tackle at all. They just wait for the guy to come to him.
A lot of teams now are they're going for that punch, the peanut punch. Trying to strip the ball first before they tackle. And I think you're seeing that all over the league. I mean, a lot of sloppy tackling. There was last week, Barkley, Washington, he went through like 5 guys who like tried arm tackling him. It's just, I think it's an epidemic around the league. And because this peanut punch has been successful. There's a lot more turnovers, but at what cost? And then, you combine that with all these rules that if you hit them up high, you hit them too low, you hit them, if you breathe on them, you give them the stink eye, it's a flag. So,
right.
It's really, defensive players have never been at a bigger disadvantage than this point in history. Like, it's just almost impossible to play defense in this league. I'm surprised we're not seeing outlandish offensive numbers like we did when Manning and Breeze and Brady.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, Edson, this is for you, buddy. Marino, we were talking about before, when Marino's first year, I mean, I've watched football now for years, and I still think Dan Marino has the quickest release I've ever seen. He just go back there, gone.
Yeah, that's because that's when he get his legs broken.
Right.
No flag. Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, though, he threw for 5,000 yards every year because he was so good. And could you imagine what he'd be like today?
I know. With the rules to protect quarterbacks and receivers. Yeah, it would be insane. It'd be fun to watch. It's just, you get like a time machine, and you know what I mean? I'd love to see some of the older 70s and 80s quarterbacks playing with the rules now, and vice versa. Like put Tom Brady in 1975 and let's see if he's effective. Probably not, right?
And I was just thinking about something that you could relate to. Tom Brady's first game, he looks across the field and they're having like a collection of linebackers. Jack Lambert, Dick Butkus, and Mike Singletary. Looking at him going, go ahead, do something.
And Ronnie Lott and Mel Blount back at safety, and that would be something to watch.
And before the guy that thinks the receiver that thinks he can fly, Darryl Green's like, oh no, I got you. No matter what, I got you.
Fastest man in the league, and put Rod Woods on the other side, or Dion. The NFL this season recorded its fewest number of concussions since they began tracking data in 2015.
That's good news.
Only 182. Now the photo they have here, they get this sock, this Guardian helmet sock they're talking about making everyone wear those next year.
Hamlin for I noticed
Yeah.
Hamlin wearing one for during the Kansas City Buffalo game.
Yeah, some of the guys were wearing them for a couple weeks if they had sustained a head hit but weren't concussed. I think they were wearing them so they wouldn't get concussed if they got hit again. They weren't wearing it all season. There were a few guys that wore them all season, but
right.
So stupid looking. I don't know, man. I get it, but I don't know. Moving on. Let's talk about last week's games. There were some controversial calls in both, but one game outweighed the other with controversy. And I've got a huge video to play over that. But first, let's talk about the first game. And before we recap it, we need to hear from the Philadelphia mayor.
Let me hear you all say, E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
So the Elgises played Washington.
I think I'm going to root for the Elgises. Pass me a Schmitz beer and a cheesesteak hoagie. I get for the Elgises.
And surprisingly, we did this last week. We covered that Sean Hockley was 6-0 when he refereed Eagles games. Well, he refereed this game, and guess what happened? The Eagles are now 7-0 with Sean Hockley refereeing their games in the Nick Sirianni era. How do you like them apples?
Stat of the day. Eagles are screwing everybody all the way. I don't understand what the hey. Keith just came up with the what? Stat of the day.
Yeah. And these stats got out of control quickly. This game was close for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter was a shite show.
Yes, it was.
And it was, it kind of started and ended the same way, where the first play for the Eagles, Barkley goes 60 plus yards, boom, touchdown. You can almost say ball game right at that point. Where is it? I have it here somewhere. Here it is. And he set a record with that run, by the way. So Eagles running back Saquon Barkley has 760 plus rushing yard touchdown plays this season, most in NFL history. That is 3 more than any other player in the history of the league.
That's crazy.
Saquon's unbelievable.
What were the Giants thinking?
You know what, though? If he was still with the Giants, he wouldn't be doing this.
Well,
they don't have the horses in front of him. They just don't have the line. I mean, some of these holes they open up. I mean, there was you could drive a double wide through some of these holes. There was one in the fourth quarter he ran through. I was like, oh my God. I was watching with my friend Paul, and I said, Jesus, look at that hole. I'm really slow, and I could get through that because they wouldn't be able to close it that quickly. It was huge. It's just
well, you were saying you could drive a double wide, and I apologize in advance. Only you understand this. You said those holes are so wide, you could drive a Mank tank through that hole.
Oh my God.
That's a bad reference. Only you understand that. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for that bad reference. That Keith is like, don't do that. Don't ever do that again.
Ouch. So Jalen Hurts had a great game. 246, a tutty, only 8 balls hit the ground. Of course, Barkley did this Barkley thing, 3 touchdowns, 118. Shipley chipped in. It was all around. AJ Brown had a great game. All the receivers got her. Devonta Smith, they all looked great. It was just there was turnovers. Turnovers marred the Redskins, and that's the story of every one of these games.
Right.
And the Redskins came into the game. They had 0 turnovers in the postseason, and then had 3. And it was the timeliness of them. They were just so costly.
And they didn't get that 2-point conversion when made it 14-14. It only ended up 14-12. And the Redskins probably said, okay, we'll be down here again. Philadelphia's like, only way you'll be down here is when Hulu jumps off sides doing his Batman imitation.
Wasn't that awesome?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was odd. I'd never seen anything like that where the referee comes out and he says, "We've given a warning," and then he does it like two more times, and he's like, "Okay, that's like 4 times he did this." Now they were like, "If he does it one more time, we're going to award a score." It was in the open, and you saw Jalen Daniels like all the players, both sides, they're like, they can do that. They can just give us a
yeah. It's like because I heard that I'm like, what?
I could see. I would think the first rule would be this player has to leave the field for a play.
Right.
Like,
that's good thing. Yeah.
The game for a play, but to sit there and say we're going to give the other team a touchdown, when we get to the next game, you start to wonder, are these referees pulling power? Like, are they really trying to affect the outcomes of these games? When you're threatening to tack a score on, I would say you get the player off the field first.
Yeah,
whatever. He was trying to do Troy Polamalu. He was trying to time the snap. It was a critical point there. The game was on the line at that point. I mean, it was starting, was starting to get out of control. And I get what he was trying to do, but it did get into the theater of the absurd after twice.
Right. Yeah, because I remember the first time I watched it, I go, okay, he did it again. He did it again.
I was laughing. I was like, they lined up for the snap, and I'm like, here comes Luvu in 3, 2, there he goes. And then they line up again. I'm like, Luvu in 3, up there he goes.
I think not a lot of people know this. This is exclusive to the TV show, to our podcast. Before the game, Luvu watched the movie Space Jam, and he kept on hearing the song "I Believe I Can Fly," and it kept on like getting into his brain. It's like bothering him. He said, "Okay, I'll show you something." But it was crazy. It was
the athleticism to jump over the line of scrimmage 4 times. Like that's hard. It's hard to do.
And try to time the snap count. He's talking to the center. Hey, Kelsey. I'm not Kelsey. Oh, damn.
It's funny because he was single-handedly trying to save the season. I admired the effort, but like I said, it did get into the absurd.
It did.
Daniels didn't play horrible. He's playing from behind the whole game, and you can only do so much. I was shocked at their inability to run the ball. Brian Robinson, 36 yards on 11 carries. Eckler went nowhere. They really had trouble with that, so they became very one-dimensional. But the guy who had a huge game was Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
Zach had an amazing game, and you saw the little clip in the open where
that was too cool. Yeah, that was too cool.
Fletcher Cox called him out and gave him a big hug, and there was a great press conference. There's only so much I can clip out. They were asking Zach Ertz, and he said, "I wish that I was 22 again, and I could play my whole career with Jaden Daniels. I love." He goes, "Not only Jaden, the whole team." He's like, "I love the collection of guys we put together here." So,
and we said in the beginning of the season, watch out for Jaden Daniels. He's a hell of a lot better than Caleb Williams. And people are like, no, yeah. But
the minute he got drafted, I said, he's this year's CJ Stroud. That was what I said.
And he looks so oh my gosh, he doesn't let anything fake. I think they haven't said one bad thing about him at all, even though they lost. And like, okay, we weren't expected to go this far, but the sky's the limit for this guy, and he's young.
Totally. I've never seen a rookie season like this, and we saw Dan Marino's rookie season. You brought up Dan Marino. We've seen some of these quarterbacks come out of nowhere and have brilliant rookie campaigns, but not like this, where he played like a 10-year veteran. And as the season went on, he looked more and more poised. Got him to the championship game in his rookie year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But, I saw an interview with him on Monday, and he said he was up all night sick.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. Yeah.
So, I think he's a really special talent. The only thing I think they've got to put some meat on his bones. He's very thin, wiry.
Yes, he is.
So, hope for a little magic here, Bruce. I know that, we're not going to pick this game till next week, but Saquon was born February 9th, 1997, and the Super Bowl's on February 9th, 2025, his 28th birthday.
Ooh, bizarre scat of the day, stat of the day. You got me scared all the way. Ooh.
Now, let's talk about the game people came to watch us talk about.
Well, did you see? I think I sent it to you. The best stat of the day regarding the Redskins Eagles game, that Tressway, the punter, has more passing yards in the NFC Championship game than Dak Prescott and Tony Romo combined.
With 23.
That's right. I saw it. That's a brutal stat.
Tony and Dak stand at 0 yards passing in the championship game. Yeah. That, by the way, that fake punt was called at a perfect time.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was good.
Slipped away right there in the first quarter, and that was perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot all about that play. I'm glad you brought it up. It was disappointing to see it get so lopsided. And I mean, Philadelphia didn't even need to score that last touchdown. I really thought they were going to just kind of take knees, give the ball back to them. I mean, there's no reason to score again.
Right.
But they did, and they're moving on, and so are the Chiefs. So most of America, I'd say 95% of America was against this, the Chiefs winning this game. And look, you hate to do that. I said it last week. You hate to sound like one of those a-holes that blames the refs for everything. And this video is a little long, but it's worth every second. And like, we can dissect it. Maybe I'll stop a few times. The Bills. All right, before I play this, let's just say the Bills got screwed on a lot of spots. Bills didn't help themselves by running that horrible version of the tush-push, brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it. They just don't know how to do it. They don't put some beef behind Josh Allen and push him. You've got like running.
Because Josh Allen is 6 foot. I read Josh Allen 6'5",
He's
6'7",
like
or something like that.
6'5", 245, 250. But he's one man, and when you're stacking your whole defense against him, they looked horrible every time they tried to run those short yardage situations. They did not help not getting that or barely getting it. Like, put a lineman behind him.
Right.
Put 2 tight ends behind him and push him. But you get some beef. You got to it's weight for weight. It's the other thing is, how about don't do that at all? How about bootleg him or do something?
He's got the speed. He's got the speed to do the bootleg. He's definitely got the speed.
The other thing, before I play this video about how they got screwed, is they screwed themselves by not using James Cook enough. James Cook touched the ball 16 times. Let me look real quick. Yeah, 13 times, 85 yards, almost 6.5 yards a carry. Right. They kept taking him out at critical times and putting in Ty Johnson or Ray Davis. And I was like, what are you doing?
Right.
These are not like James Cook is the elite running back. These guys are not
right.
And they were screwing themselves that way too. The play calling, they killed themselves in a lot of areas, and it didn't help that the referees were this is unbelievable. So here we go. Watch some of these spots.
Does the NFL have an officiating problem? Well, let's go to the tape. There's 2 things that I noticed in this game. Number 1, the Bills were repeatedly short-spotted by the officials. This is James Cook in the first quarter. Take it away, Jim.
Cook has a first down.
Well, I think everyone can agree that that is indeed a first down. Nice run by Cook there to gain an impressive
11 yards. He's tough.
11 yards, actually. Ooh, nice run. Oh, but hold on. James Cook is a little confused now because the refs are in a huddle, and they have come to the conclusion that he did not gain 11 yards, nor did he gain 10 yards. He actually gained 9. Yes, somehow that was only a 9-yard run. Look where they spotted the ball. You got to be kidding me. Okay, so maybe that was just a one-time mistake. This is now the second quarter. This is going to be Amari Cooper. Josh Allen takes the snap, and he's going to find Amari Cooper off to the left here. He catches the ball, turns around. Now he slowed it down a bit here. It's kind of hard to tell, but it sure looks like he gets the pylon to me. But
They're going to mark him about a yard shy.
and again, look where they marked the ball. I mean, if he didn't get the first down, he was still a lot closer than that. Here's James Cook again, this time in the fourth quarter.
Go up top to Cook. Frankel there to shove him out, but it's a 10-yard gain.
Oh, hold on there, Jimmy boy.
You know, mark him short of the first, by the way.
No, that's a huge now. It seems like over and over again we keep seeing.
Seeing what? Seeing what, Tony? I think Tony got his microphone cut. Okay, this is the third down play before the Josh Allen fourth down play. Big play here. Allen over to Kincaid. Kincaid looks like he's got the first down once again. Oh, but wait a minute there again. Gonna mark him short. What a shock. So that's 4. That's 4. Can we go for 5? Here's the big play. Josh Allen pushing. Looks like he got the first down. But, you know, it's hard to tell. If only we had an official or something out there that could see the play and make a call.
The far side judge says first down the way he's stepping to the near side.
Oh, they're moving it back. They're both moving it back. They had it easily over. They brought it back quite a bit.
Had to get to that line.
His play. It's under review.
Oh, well, I'm sure they'll get it straightened out on replay. But here's the kicker, is that on the field, the call was ruled in favor of Kansas City. So they need definitive proof to overturn the call. If it had been called in favor of Buffalo, again, they would need definitive proof to overturn the call.
This is your point right here. Watch him up here.
Where he's going to mark it.
Yes, he's in front of the line. He's got to move around someone. He's below the line on the bottom. Well, those are two very different spots.
So one guy calls it a first down, the other guy calls it not a first down. Unfortunately, the guy calling it not a first down has more power, so he overrules the other guy. Thus, the call on the field is in Kansas City's favor, and what do you know? There's inconclusive proof to overturn. Gene?
How did you see it, Gene?
I felt like he gained it by about a third of the football, Jim. That was just my take on the play. Tough play.
I agree.
All righty, let's do a few more just for fun. Here's this ridiculous play. Get a load of this guy.
Buffalo is challenging the prior play with respect to the possession of the ball by the defense prior to being down.
Okay, ref. Dude doesn't even know what he's cheating about.
After review, ruling the field stands as called. Is a Kansas City catch. And first down and goal.
Oh, Tony, I know you're not going to agree with this one.
And well, you shouldn't, Tony. In fact, nobody should, because they ruled this a catch for Xavier Worthy on the Kansas City Chiefs, number 1 in red there. Here's what happens. Let's see. The Bills player catches the ball as he's going to the ground. Oh, it hits the ground. That's an incomplete pass, right? But no, somehow they ruled this a catch for number 1 on the Chiefs there. There's the ball. It hits the ground and bounces into the Chiefs player's arms. But again, it was initially ruled in favor of the Chiefs on the field, so inconclusive proof, of course, for them to overturn it. Although that looked pretty conclusive to me. And we're just going to close up with this one for fun. This is the last play of the game. Desperation time for the Bills. Josh Allen heaves it up, and Dalton Kincaid almost comes down with it. He does not catch it. That's pretty much going to be it for the Bills. Oh, but wait, there's a flag on the play. Here's the strange thing about this flag, is that it was actually picked up by the officials after the incomplete pass hit the ground. One has to wonder, if Dalton Kincaid had caught that pass, would that have been a holding penalty on the Bills or something of the like? I hate to say it, but I think it would have been. So there you go. That's my take of this whole ridiculous situation. Conspiracy theory time. The NFL wants the Kansas City Chiefs to three-peat. And on the podium after the game, Travis Kelce will retire and ask Taylor Swift to marry him. Think of the ratings. You heard it here first. Thank you for watching. Now go forth and go Bills.
So
damn.
Pretty in-depth forensics takedown there. But you know, I was watching this in a sports bar, so it's easy to not hear the audio and or be distracted. But that first one, the Cook run, that was egregious. I mean, they took 2 yards away from him. He was clearly over the line for a first down by almost a full yard. So they really took about 3 yards away from him. That was crazy. You know, then you have the Amari Cooper catch. And that one I remember seeing live, and I said, that looked like he got it. Like he went out of bounds past the pylon, past the sticks. And they marked him short. Then you had the James Cook catch on the opposite side of the field. Same deal. He went out of bounds, and they claimed he went out of bounds a yard short. And then the third down and fourth down plays where Dalton Kincaid looked like he had the first down, but they marked it a yard short, and then they do the bad tush push, which I was screaming at the TV, don't do that again, because it kept failing. But they did it again, and it looked like they did get it by a smidge. Especially when you see the overhead shot and you see the line, the 40-yard line. It looked like he went past it, but game was marred by controversy.
Right.
To no one's surprise. You sent me a couple of videos that are interesting.
Yeah.
This one's really interesting. They have the referees mic'd up, and you can actually hear what they're saying.
I can't hear anything. I wish I could hear that. I didn't hear. I couldn't hear it, but I'll look at it on my own notes. But
luckily, it was closed captions, so you could read it, and it's funny anyway.
Well, I have some breaking news. So if you want to hit the sounder,
the breaking news. Oh,
yes,
breaking news.
Yeah.
Sorry, you mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Tolbert will be the referee for the Super Bowl.
What does that mean?
It won't be one of those guys that always says the games for the Chiefs or for the Eagles.
Oh, right.
So I will send it. They gave the referee list and the back judge list for the Super Bowl yesterday.
No, it's supposed to be the best of the best, but we'll see. You also sent me this, that the Chiefs are already, the day after winning the championship game, they were getting in shape for next week.
It's so true. It's so
they're doing their homework. Guys are ready.
I'm surprised there weren't cheeseburgers in front of them.
So, yeah, stuff like this. I mean, how do you call this a catch? They're using video assist, to help them with these calls. They don't have to really even be challenged. And the fact that Sean McDermott challenged this and lost was even crazier. This is not a catch by any stretch of the imagination. Kansas City ended up scoring a touchdown following this.
I don't know.
There was the Travis Kelce on the touchdown, was taunting DeMar Hamlin, and then Phillips came in and bumped him, and Travis acted like he got shot.
I remember that.
Phillips gets the flag. Yeah, it's just there's the Josh Allen. I mean, there he is. It looks like he right there gets the line.
Right.
Where is it? Right there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you had the one referee coming in past the 40-yard line on top who's going to spot him for a first down, and the one on the bottom comes in and overrules him and marks it a yard short. This last play, Bill's radio also called that there was a flag on the field during the last play.
I saw that. I was like, okay, what's the penalty? What's the penalty?
Right.
Hope it's for...
Yeah, and Romo and Nance were calling the flag, and then they got picked up. And it makes you wonder if Kincaid catches that ball, do they flag the Bills for something? For a hold, for an illegal shift, for who knows, illegal man downfield? Like, well, and actually, what could have been flagged was Josh Allen could have been flagged for roughing the passer. He got nailed after he threw the ball. No call. And then this one was an egregious one that wasn't even on that list. Check this one out. Check the play clock. Go to 0 before the 2-minute warning. And there was no delay of game flagged on the Chiefs. Play clock 0, 2:01 left on the game clock. That was one that wasn't even in that. And here's the Josh Allen thing again. You see the ref on the top was going to mark it as a first down. The guy comes in on the bottom. Yeah.
Well,
a lot of shenanigans.
I don't know. Because we all agree. They're a good team. Yes. We all like Andy Reid because he's a class act. But I don't
seen anything like this where this many calls go. And it's not the quantity. It's not even the quantity of the calls. It's when the calls happen. It's what calls that they are. You know, these possession calls where they're shorting the Bills a yard. They're giving the Chiefs a catch that didn't exist. That's just crazy.
Well, I have 2 points. I think if I'm wrong, I apologize in advance. When Kelsey did that fallback thing,
yeah,
I think one of the announcers said, I think he learned that on Taylor Swift's Eras tour.
Yeah,
because it's like I don't know.
I mean, you can see here's Allen getting wiped out on the last play.
Mm-hmm.
And the defender fell on him with his full weight, which is usually a flag in this league. It was just crazy, you know. And the sad part is that fourth down play, Kincaid had the first down on third down. That was the shittiest part.
Mm-hmm.
If I was McDermott, I would have challenged the spot on the third down play.
Well, you're talking about quote unquote favoritism. Growing when I was with the boys, married with the boys, I would watch I would watch Michael Jordan play.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no joke. I mean, people criticize this about me because I couldn't stand Michael Jordan. I couldn't stand Kobe Bryant. And my boys would say, "Oh, he's such a great ball player." I said, "Watch what happens. Watch what happens. He's going to get every single call." They said, "Dad, it's just a basketball game." I said, "Well, watch what happens." And before they go to commercial, they'll do a zoom shot of Michael Jordan. It's like Patrick Mahomes, and before him was Tom Brady, is the poster child of the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Taylor Swift means money. I'm so sick of it. And I sent you that picture of that the groundhog.
Yeah.
It's like we have 2 more weeks of Taylor, and it's
no, you're right. I mean, it's true of every sport. They get behind the guys who bring in the money, the faces that bring the money.
Right.
But it's gotten to the point where I think, you know, America's sick of it. Even casual fans are seeing this. This is, you know, we're getting into WWE territory now. Like,
right.
Totally rigged.
Right.
But hey, you know, I showed you the Saquon Barkley thing. It's his birthday on the Super Bowl. And how about this one? So the Eagles, when they played in Super Bowl 39, lost by 3 to the Patriots. Then in Super Bowl 52 came back and beat the Patriots in a rematch. In Super Bowl 57, they lost to the Chiefs by 3. Will they get revenge in 59 next week?
LEGRE.
Let's ask the Philadelphia mayor what
Let me hear you all say ELGLES, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
Hey, could you send that to me? I'm going to send that to my mom because when I was born in Philly, she'll probably say, she's a school teacher, say, what the hell is she talking about?
Well, thank
send
you.
it to me. Send that to me. I'll send it to mom.
I will do that. Thank you, Pent Von Doom. That was very kind of you. So there's another controversy swirling around the Super Bowl, and that's the fact that have you picked up on this with the new logos?
No, I haven't. What's going on?
Go back 5 years ago now. That was 5 years ago? 4 years ago. The Rams and the Rams and the Bengals, the logo, which comes out, sometime in the preseason, was colored yellow and orange with a little blue accent, and it ends up blue and yellow versus orange in the Super Bowl. The following year, we get red and green, and we end up with the Chiefs and the Eagles. Then the following year, we get red. There's purple in there, though, so there was no purple team. I thought the Ravens might get there. But you get 49ers and the Chiefs. So that one's a bit of a stretch. And then this year, we've got green and red, and we've got green and red. So next year's logo, right now, this is still a mock-up. It's not been approved for anything. But it's like dark blue and silverish and light blue. Out there joking that the Panthers and the Titans. I say Lions, like Lions against the Bills, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Wonder, geez, is that all intentional?
Well, the thing is, though, you're talking about the purple. Wasn't it? They were thinking about maybe Baltimore.
Well, Baltimore went to the championship game and lost.
Right, they went to the championship game.
And Lamar played awful. And
he did.
Play calling was just as bad. I mean, Harbaugh stopped running the ball all year long. They're running the ball, and they didn't run the ball in that game at all.
They didn't run the ball at all in the second half. I'm like,
in Lamar, he just kept. I just remember him holding onto the ball and running around in the backfield, waiting for somebody to get open for an eternity, and then either taking a loss or a sack or running out of bounds. And it was like I kept screaming, "Just run! Take off, Lamar! What are you doing? Just go!"
He looks so out of sync that game. You're right. I remember just holding on the ball, going, "Okay, all right,"
just running back and forth, waiting for one of his receivers to get open. It was insane. It was so frustrating to watch. So there's two maps here. They're dueling maps. NFL Meme posted this one. Red is rooting for Kansas City. Green is rooting for Philadelphia, and everyone else in gray is rooting for a meteor strike. Let me blow that up. I think it's a little extreme. I tend to go with this map from ML football.
Yeah, right.
I think, most of America is just done with Kansas City. We are just done with them. What else do I have here? I think this guy here, Joe Downs, nails it too. Hey, everyone. I got to take a look at the Super Bowl script so you don't have to watch it. The Chiefs pull it out in the last minute. And Travis Kelce proposes to Taylor Swift after the game. You're welcome. Hashtag boycott Super Bowl. This hashtag is trending. Boycott Super Bowl, and it's gaining momentum.
I've heard something about that.
So last year's Super Bowl, I found this ratings chart. Let me blow it up a little bigger here. Boom. If you go just by this first column right here, the second column is the television, the Nielsen ratings. Everything else is like streaming, and then they break down the in-home and it's like sports bars, out-of-home viewership, and all this other stuff, streaming, and then they add it all up at the end. But if you just go by strict broadcast, 120.25 million is the most watched Super Bowl broadcast of all time last year. Do you think it takes a dip this year? Because no one's going to boycott the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. Let's face it. But you might lose 5 million, maybe 8 million off the top. Certainly, I think people in Buffalo are going to intentionally tune out.
Right.
I only boycotted one Super Bowl. It was the Patriots and the Rams, the first one. Tom Brady, the first one. I was so mad because I thought the Steelers got jobbed by the refs in the championship game very similarly. And my girlfriend and I went to a sports bar. It was on, but we didn't really watch. We played pool and ate wings and just kind of ignored the game. I watched it afterward when I watched it when I could actually sit and stomach it. But, you know, are we talking maybe back down to 114 where the last one was at 2 years ago?
I've only boycotted one Super Bowl. That was yeah, I didn't watch it. I still haven't really watched it. Is Super Bowl 16 between San Francisco and Cincinnati.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I watched it now on NFL Films, but I was mad because Fouts didn't make it because they played the Freezer Bowl 2 weeks ago. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And
sorry.
I couldn't. I'm sorry. I just couldn't watch it because I'm like, all right, San Francisco beat Dallas, and I hate Dallas, but I don't like Montana. So I was living in Phoenix at the time. I just didn't watch it. I didn't just remember that.
Yeah. I think everybody, you know, even major football fans at some point they've walked away from one Super Bowl that they just couldn't stomach. It's kind of interesting though, when I was looking at this earlier, you go back to Super Bowl I, which of course had no streaming or, you know, out very, and I'm sure they had primitive tracking numbers too, but they have this at 24.43 million. And if you slowly scroll up and you just see how the game has grown, you know, you get into the games in the 80s and they're getting into the 60, 70, 80 million. And then you get into the 90s and the aughts, and it's getting up over 90 and then into the 100 millions to where we are last year at 120. So that's pretty fascinating when you start to dissect all this. And, you know, streaming looks like streaming started somewhere around 2011. They started tracking streaming numbers to add into it. So yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
Well, little known fact, you probably know this. If Super Bowl I, they played the Coliseum. It wasn't sold out.
Yep.
And 2 networks covered the game because it was like a bidding war.
Yep.
And there's a picture this is a little known fact. Me being a Packers fan, I read this somewhere. At the end of the game, I mean, Vince Lombardi was so nervous during the game and everything. And at the end of the game, they go to the locker room and he had this tie on. It was tied so tight he couldn't undo it. So he just yanked it off his shirt. He threw it across the room and then he did his press conference.
That's awesome.
But yeah, well, okay, here's one for you. I listened to Levitard, and Stu Gotts, who's crazy, comes up with a great point. Why don't they play the Super Bowl on Saturday?
No, they should. And here's one other item they've been discussing with if not, let me rephrase that. When they go to an 18-game season, it'll push everything a week. The Super Bowl will now land the day before President's Day, so most people will have Monday off anyway. I've been saying, yeah, if you want to leave it on Sunday, I get it, but we need to have some kind of a national holiday on Monday, like Super Bowl hangover day. I mean, you know, there's no, I haven't seen concrete numbers, but it's been rumored that somewhere between 60 and 75% of employees call in sick the next day.
Yeah, because the game starts at 6:30 at night.
Yeah.
And by the time
you got extended halftime, you got the long pregame crap. I mean, they make us, the coin flip is its own section of the show, you know. Now it's time for the Bud Light coin flip. No, you're
brought to you by Taylor Swift.
Right. Oh my God. It's amazing they don't have her doing the halftime show. But
oh my gosh.
You know, people are put in for PTO ahead of time or they're calling in sick. And it's been the worst kept secret in the world as to why they're not coming in the day after the Super Bowl. Since I was a kid, I knew that. So, you know.
Well, down here, there's only. Okay, here's one for you. See if you know this. Name the one time there was no gap between the NFC and AFC championship game to the Super Bowl. Oh, there wasn't 2 weeks.
There was a couple of years they went without the break. God, I'm trying to remember now. I know after it was somewhere around like 2006, 2007, right? Somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
That. 'Cause I remember the Steelers played in Super Bowl 40, Bettis's last game. There was a break in there. And I think it might have been the year after that they went to no break.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have that info?
Well, I think the one I remember the most is when the Redskins beat Miami, because the championship game. I still remember this. I was living in Phoenix at the time. I was working with a youth group, and on a Saturday, like a couple of weeks before the game, they said, "Oh, we're going to have a production meeting on Saturday." I'm like, okay, and that was the day the Redskins played the Cowboys in the championship game. First time that the championship game was played on a Saturday. And the next day they played Miami, played the Jets, and it was around January 23rd. So they said, okay, let's play, because of the strike. They just moved it up 1 week, and the Super Bowl was played on January 30th, if I remember correctly. That was That was in 83, if I remember correctly.
So they've done it. Yeah, they've done it off and on. I just try to Google. I'll look for it for next week's show, but there have been chunks where they've gotten away from it and then went back again. I mean, just asking you, how do you like it? Do you like it with the break or without the break?
It just okay. I'll put it this: tomorrow's going to feel weird. I mean, because like we're talking football and everything, and we still haven't really dissected the game because we have a week to like think about and everything. And it feels weird though because it's like going to a buffet. Beginning of the season, you got all you can eat, blah, blah, blah. Then it starts waning down. And tomorrow you're like, you have your knife and forks and what's for dinner? You can have a salad.
They get, or okay? the pot of soup that's like almost dry at that point.
Right.
And all the noodles and wontons are gone. It's just broth. It's almost dry.
Right.
Yeah, no, I know it's weird. Like that's why I don't want to pick next week's game till next week because
because we have a week. We have a week to think about it.
That and there could be there could be injuries in practice. There could be. I mean, how many Super Bowls have we seen guys get arrested or just vanish? Remember that guy from the Raiders? I forgot his name. He just vanished. What was his name? Barry.
Stanley Wilson.
Stanley Wilson from Cincinnati. Yeah, right. So all kinds of strange shit can happen this week.
Right.
So we'll wait until next Saturday to pick the game. However, it has opened up at FanDuel with the Chiefs as a 1.5 point favorite.
Right.
So, yeah. And the best part of the Super Bowl, this is like the only time I'm not a betting man.
Neither am I.
Yeah, I work too hard for my money to just throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
But I do put prop bets down on the Super Bowl because it's fun. I'll put like $40 for 30, $40, $50 down. I will do the kick of destiny. Last year I blew it. I thought Gronk was going to get it last year. He kept saying he was going to get it, and he missed again. But I love the game props. The ones I can't find right now, I've been looking, are the ones like, how many times are they going to show Taylor Swift or
oh, please.
How long is the national anthem actually going to be, because they stretch it out. And, is the coin flip going to be heads or tails? I went into the game props and it's game props, how many first downs, total yards, all that kind of stuff. So maybe during the week, they'll start putting out those really wacky props those are the fun ones. But we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And we got to put up with the Chiefs for one more week, man.
I'm not going to do my shout outs because I had a whole list of things we can do next week. It's like,
go for the shout outs. Why not?
Hi, these shout outs are for Geezy, Boop, Move Church Family, Gassy Granny, Dementia Get Well, and Michelle.
Gassy
and what? Yeah, this is a very interesting story. I'll tell you off the air.
All right. Gassy Granny. So what do you want to do next week? I thought maybe we could do some of our favorite Super Bowl memories.
Right, because I have suggestions. I have suggestions like like we can go back and like find out who our first favorite NFL player was.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite quarterback, running back, favorite team, and why do you root for this team? most underrated, most overrated, least favorite player, and Super Bowl memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And audience, feel free to leave a comment below.
Yes.
If you want to see us do something Super Bowl around the Super Bowl in the history of the NFL kind of thing for next week. And then we'll, of course, pick the game and preview the Super Bowl from this year. Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Let me hear you all say E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
The Elgises have to pull this one out.
It's very important for the legacy. I told you last week the best part of that whole video, besides the messing up, is the police commissioner looking at and saying, "Girl, what the hell are you spelling?"
He's trying not to embarrass her, and she's just got so much conviction. Like, she doesn't realize. She's just like, yeah, I completely mangled that.
She's like, what's that guy's name? Oh, what's his name? You know what? When someone does that, you call it a Howard Dean. It's like, the Howard Dean moment.
I should clip that out for a quick little. So.
All right, Edson, we're thinking about you, buddy.
That's all I got, except for, hey, a lot of people think the Chiefs are going to win. So
if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
That's all I got. Thank you, Denny Green. Rest in peace. Yeah, Edson, we miss you. I hope you get better in your world, and we see you again next week. And that's all I got. Bruce.
That's all I got, and look forward to chatting with you during the week.
As always, my friend. Thanks.
Always, my brother.
Smash the like button if so inclined. Leave a comment below if so inclined. And if you really want to go for the trifecta, you can hit the subscribe button too.
Right.
All right. We'll see you guys next week for the big game, Super Bowl 59.
Go. How you spell it again?
Let me hear you all say E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
Elgises.
Oh my God! Look at all the Elgises in the air. They're going to crap on me.
It's the national bird.
It's national bird of Philadelphia. The Elgises.
All right, my brother. You have a great week.
All right, my brother.
Have a great week. And next week, Super Bowl 59. That means we're old.
Damn.
My friend.
Right.
Hey, real quick before I know we're like one of those movies that has 7 endings, but what was the first Super Bowl you watched?
Oh man. I can remember the first Super Bowl I watched was Super Bowl VI between Dallas and Miami. But this first Super Bowl I really remember, we just moved down here, was Super Bowl VII between Miami and Washington, because Washington was going crazy and everyone's like, oh, the Redskins. And my friends, Marianne Yankowski, who I've known for almost all my whole life, I knew her in Philadelphia, then down here, walks into the room. We're having this big Super Bowl party, and the big console TVs, just like it'll take. Okay, move it over here. Yeah.
To take the front of the house off to get it in. Yeah.
Right. I think there was a stereo system inside of it. One of those big time TVs. Yeah. She just walks in and says very calmly, I think the Miami Dolphins are going to win. And we're all like, what? We just moved here. I mean, I think I was like 10 or 11 years old. I still remember her just walking in saying that.
Wow.
That's the Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl I remember is Super Bowl VII.
So you're going to watch your 53rd Super Bowl, but you only remember 52 of them.
Right.
I'm similar. I watched Super Bowl IX was my first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just watching it because my stepdad was watching it and he was all excited. It was Super Bowl X that I really remember. the next one that I watched and loved, the Steelers. So this will be my 50th Super Bowl in 49 that I can remember. So
well, here's a quick story about Super Bowl 10. We a couple of days before, my father worked for the government. He comes home and says, "All right, Marilyn, pack up the kids' stuff." Wow, what's going on? Well, I'm going on a business trip to San Francisco, and the government's paying for you guys to go. So we fly out to San Francisco for a couple of days, and we flew back on a Sunday. And I remember, oh man, my friends call me Rain Man. January 18th of 76, we had to fly back. And the Super Bowl that year was Miami and Dallas, and they played in Miami. Not Miami, Dallas and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Super Bowl 10. Yeah.
Super Bowl 10. So we flew back during the game. And I'm just sitting there pissed off because I'm like, I want to listen to the game. And the pilot says, I know. And the pilot says, for those of you that are interested in the football game, we're going to, which was unheard of at the time, we're going to link into CBS Sports or NBC so you can listen to the game on your headphones. So I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. 3 more places just this came through. 3 more places just accused Justin Tucker of indecent behavior.
Really?
Yeah, it just popped through on my screen while I was telling you that.
Really?
Yeah. So we listened to the Super Bowl across. I remember flying across the Rockies listening to the Super Bowl. And I'm sitting there with my dad. We're listening to the game, really getting into it. And we're talking about playing things. It was a nice sunny day. We hit an air pocket. Oh, freak out of me. Playing with, and I'm like, what was that? He goes, oh, that was Glenn Swan jumping up in the air, catching a touchdown pass. Nothing to worry about. Okay, Dad, I believe you. But that's one of my memories of watching the Super Bowl, listening to Super Bowl.
I had to do it. I had to fact check you. January 18th, 1976. You are spot on. You're also spot on about this. 3 additional massage therapists.
Right.
Ravens kicker Justin Tucker of sexually inappropriate behavior, according to an investigation by the Baltimore Banner. In all, 9 massage therapists from 5 spas and wellness centers have shared their accounts with the Banner. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Well,
on that note, wow.
We'll see how that plays out. All right. This time will be the real ending.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We will see you again next week for the Super Bowl. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, I think no. Yes, the joyfulness is over. The joyfulness is over.
Thanks for watching GeekTime TV. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure to check the little bell icon anytime someone from our network drops new content here. Want some GeekTime swag? Check out the merchandise available in the GeekTime TV store, linked in the channel description below. Share GeekTime TV with friends, and as always, thank you for your support. We'll see you soon.